Hello, welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd, and you were watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. All right, guys, I'm back with more updates out of the Middle East, and I want to give you more information regarding this war between Israel and Iran. Right now, we're still waiting to see if the U.S. is going to join in with Israel to strike Iran's nuclear facilities, primarily the Fordow nuclear site, and destroy it using B-2 bombers. So I have a major update here on your screen we're going to go over. Today's date is June 21st, 2025. It's Saturday. Current time is 12:46 p.m. Pacific Standard Time in the United States when I record this for you. So take a look at your screen here. U.S. moves B-2 bombers to Guam in the Pacific, still awaiting strike approval. 6 B-2 stealth bombers from Whiteman Air Force Base in the U.S. were deployed to a U.S. Air Force base in Guam. It is not immediately clear whether this is related to tensions in the Middle East. Okay, this information is actually coming from Fox News. They're stating that it was 6 B-2 stealth bombers that were deployed from the U.S. to Guam. This is over next to the Philippines. Now, not exactly right next to Iran, as we would typically see the B-2 bombers most likely deployed to Diego Garcia U.S. Air Force Base in the Indian Ocean if they were going to carry out these strikes. As far as I know, they're not going to be moving from Guam, at least not for right now, but they might get orders to maybe deploy to Diego Garcia here in the near future. So we're going to go over this in just a minute. I've got a mainstream news report that we'll talk about. We also have some information that senior Iranian officials are once again warning the U.S. not to get involved with these strikes into Iran. And if they do, their air bases will most likely be attacked. We even have the Houthis coming out today down in Yemen. They're threatening to start attacking ships again if the U.S. decides to attack Iran. And we keep hearing some very big news, major alerts all across X. A lot of sources indicating that this strike could take place sometime this weekend. But I would think these B-2 bombers would probably get a little bit closer to Iran before carrying out these strikes. But we'll see what happens. Let me give you guys the information. Let's hop on over here to The Guardian. This is a mainstream news article, and it says, U.S. reportedly moving B-2 bombers to Guam as Trump considers Iran strikes. Officials tell Reuters bombers moving to the Pacific Island, but unclear whether deployment tied to Middle East tensions. Okay, so they don't know whether these are being deployed over there because of the Middle East or what, but so far they have arrived in Guam, last I heard. Now it says here the United States is moving B-2 bombers to the Pacific island of Guam, two U.S. officials told Reuters on Saturday, as Donald Trump weighs whether the United States should take part in Israel's strikes against Iran. It was unclear whether the bomber deployment is tied to Middle East tensions. The B-2 can be equipped with to carry America's 30,000-pound GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrator designed to destroy targets deep underground. That is the weapon that experts say could be used to strike Iran's nuclear program, including Fordow. The official, speaking on condition of anonymity, declined to disclose any further details. One official said no forward orders had been given yet to move the bombers beyond Guam. They did not say how many B-2 bombers are being moved. See, if you notice here, The Guardian is reporting that they don't know how many B-2 bombers were deployed, but again, Fox News was reporting today that it was 6 B-2 bombers that were sent to Guam. Finally, it says here, Pentagon did not immediately respond to requests for comment. Experts and officials are closely watching to see whether the B-2 bombers will move forward to a U.S.-British military base on the Indian Ocean island of Diego Garcia. Experts say that Diego Garcia is an ideal position to operate in the Middle East. United States had B-2 bombers on Diego Garcia up until last month when they were replaced with B-52 bombers. Yeah, so apparently we did have reports in the last 3 to 4 weeks that B-2 bombers were in Diego Garcia. And according to this information, they were replaced with B-52. So as far as I know, Diego Garcia currently should not have any B-2 bombers over there. And the closest ones to the Middle East, I believe, are going to be the ones that have been deployed to Guam today. So now let's jump on over to X. Let me share some independent news over here for you guys as well. This is from ViceGrad24. 6 B-2 stealth bombers left the U.S. a few hours ago and are now flying across the Pacific Ocean. They were refueled immediately after taking off, indicating that they are carrying very heavy payloads. Those payloads could soon be dropped over a place called Fordow in Iran. Okay, so I wanted to show you this information because it was talking about the fact that when these B-2 stealth bombers took off, they were immediately refueled in the air. Okay, so that's possibly indicating they're carrying massive amounts of bombs on board and could be used to launch these strikes into Iran. Okay, if they're carrying all those munitions, that's a big indicator they're probably going to be using them, right? Now from DEFMON, B-2 bomber estimated timeline, and note these times are speculative and are not going to be accurate. So I'm not worried about this timeline here, but I just want to show you guys this map to kind of show you the trajectory of where this plane is headed and where it's located at in the world right now. So it left over here from Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri. It flew over the Pacific Ocean, past Hawaii. It was refueled at least once, probably multiple times, on the way over here to Guam. And Guam is going to be located on a small island over here next to the Philippines. And also we have Japan up here as well, China right there. And then apparently it's going to be going from there to Diego Garcia next before we hear any kind of strikes on Iran. Now, I'm not 100% sure if these strikes can be carried out from Guam all the way to Iran over here. But from what we've heard, many sources talk about the fact that B-2 bombers would most likely go to Diego Garcia if they were going to carry out strikes onto Iran. So far, again, we have not heard of their deployment to Diego Garcia. They're still in Guam right now, okay? So just kind of a map to show you guys, in case you're not familiar with where Guam is at. Now from World Source News 24/7, breaking senior Iranian official to Al Jazeera. Attacking U.S. military bases in the region is simpler than striking deep within Israel. We strongly caution the U.S. that joining the conflict will severely threaten its interests in the Middle East. Okay, so once again, Iran warning the U.S. not to get involved in these strikes, or they're going to simply attack U.S. military bases all across the region in the Middle East. We heard a report, I think it was yesterday, that Benjamin Netanyahu was speaking to a news agency out of Israel and stated that apparently Iran still has 28,000 ballistic missiles that they could fire. So imagine that. Now, I'm not sure how many launchers they have left because Israel's been destroying a lot of those recently. And we've been seeing a major decrease in ballistic missile launches to Israel. But nonetheless, they are threatening they will attack bases in the Middle East. Okay, so once again, they're doing that, warning the U.S. Now from Mario Nafal, Iran warns if the U.S. joins in, it's game over for everybody. Iran's foreign minister just issued a grave warning if the U.S. steps into the Israel-Iran fight, it'll be very, very dangerous for everybody. He also claimed America's been involved since day one behind the scenes of Israeli strikes. Meanwhile, Trump is playing coy, promising a decision in 2 weeks, then calling for unconditional surrender from Iran on Truth Social. Israel keeps bombing, Iran keeps vowing revenge, and now B-2 bombers are in striking distance. Yeah, that was something that I thought was interesting. If you guys remember, what was it like earlier this week? Trump was calling on Iran to unconditionally surrender, with all these strikes that Israel was carrying out. And then literally a couple days later, Trump was apparently stating that he was going to give them 2 weeks or make a decision on Iran within 2 weeks. So that changed really quickly. Once again, another major warning here coming out from Iran. This time, the foreign minister, this is Abbas Araghchi, warning the U.S. not to get involved in these attacks, or we're going to have major destabilization in the Middle East. And that's the major concern right now. Hopefully it doesn't turn into a major war over here if the U.S. gets involved. Now, open source intel, according to Channel 12 News out of Israel, the U.S. had delivered a final offer to Iran: end uranium enrichment / long-range missile programs, dismantle key nuclear infrastructure. Israel believes rejection equals U.S. enters the war. Turkey, Oman, Italy, and Norway offered to host talks. Iran hasn't responded. Washington's warning: comply or face intervention. So I haven't been able to confirm this from any other sources, but yeah, apparently Israeli Channel 12 News was reporting that a final offer or an ultimatum was delivered to Iran. These were some of the demands from the U.S. side. And so far, we haven't seen any talks between Iran and the U.S. and even Europe right now. Nothing is really succeeding. We're still seeing that the U.S. is most likely going to have to carry out these strikes at some point soon. I haven't heard any response to anything like this. Now, World Source News 24/7, again, breaking. Iranian official tells Reuters, if it's a choice between halting uranium enrichment and going to war, we choose war. Okay, so they will not stop any enrichment of uranium, period. Okay, they're going to continue doing this. And if they need to go to war, they're stating they'll choose war over halting their uranium enrichment. So that's crazy news. Now, World Source News 24/7, again. AFP reports Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian declares that Iran will not stop nuclear activities under any circumstances. So I would even consider if they were to be attacked, and let's say the U.S. carries out these strikes and destroys all their facilities. He's claimed before that the power that they have to build these nuclear sites, enrich uranium, that it's inside their heads. They've got all these nuclear scientists, and many of them have already been eliminated by Israel. We've been seeing lots of strikes on Iranian nuclear scientists. That apparently they'll just go ahead and rebuild again. They will never stop doing this. So if any action is going to be taken by the U.S., I think we're going to see major airstrikes across Iran, not just going after their nuclear facilities, but I think we would have to see a major dismantlement of the entire Iranian regime. And that's why I think this thing could get really out of control over here very quickly. Now, World Source News 24/7 breaking: Iran's supreme leader reportedly ordered Hezbollah's Naim Qassem to fight Israel, per Western sources cited by Channel 12. That's out of Israel again. Qassem refused, fearing IDF could destroy Hezbollah. Okay, so apparently Ali Khamenei, or Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, was calling on Hezbollah, the leader of Hezbollah in Lebanon, to start fighting Israel again, start launching attacks and do whatever they got to do. Probably because, Iran's under heavy pressure right now, and maybe they need some sort of help. And Hezbollah's already come out numerous times before and didn't really show that they want to attack Israel in any way. Israel already called on Hezbollah not to engage at all, or they will completely obliterate them. And apparently Naim Qassem saying here, we're not going to get involved. So they're not even preparing to back up Iran one bit. That is insane news. That shows how badly they've been degraded. Now, World Source News 24/7 breaking: Yemen's Houthi group warns of targeting U.S. vessels in the Red Sea if the U.S. attacks Iran. Okay, so once again, now we've got the Houthis coming out saying, if you guys attack Iran, we're going to start going after ships again in the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden, which is something they did for months. We've been covering that for a long time. And just in the last, month or two, we heard from Trump. He was saying that they achieved some sort of deal with the Houthis, that the Houthis would not strike any ships over there anymore or go after U.S. warships. So it looks like they will start doing that again if the U.S. goes after Iran. Now, World Source News 24/7 again breaking: multiple explosions have been reported in Tehran and Isfahan. A new wave of Israeli strikes are underway in Iran. So we had multiple cities being targeted. Tehran was being attacked again. I don't have any videos out of there, but lots of reports were indicating massive explosions in Tehran. That's the capital. And then Isfahan is a city in central Iran that has a nuclear facility over there. And we have reports today that it has been leveled, and centrifuge production sites over there have been destroyed. We also have another city of Avaz, I think is how you say it. It's a city in southwestern Iran. We'll go over that as well. There were some military bases over there being struck. So here's a report from Israel Foreign Ministry. Israel's second precision strike on the Isfahan nuclear facility last night neutralized additional significant components of the Iranian regime's military nuclear program. Isfahan is one of many scattered nuclear facilities, a site crucial to the production of a nuclear bomb. Israel will continue to eliminate all components of the regime's military nuclear program. So this was a video coming out showing the IDF where they targeted. These were centrifuge production facilities, kind of videos showing what they would have looked like on the inside. And they destroyed a certain portion of this facility when they went after it. Okay, this is the Isfahan nuclear site inside of central Iran, and this is where they targeted to destroy it. They leveled it big time. I've got video here I can show you. OZ Technical new post-strike drone footage of the heavy damage inflicted by Israeli Air Force jets on Iran's Isfahan nuclear facility, a large area of the major Iranian nuclear development complex. Reportedly, a centrifuge production area was leveled by Israeli bombs. So here's video footage coming out from the Isfahan nuclear facility showing major damage. I mean, look at all these buildings just completely destroyed, especially this area right here. We had heavy attacks taking place. You can see massive destruction here to the Isfahan nuclear facility. And Israel has attacked it at least once or twice already over the last week. Now they've gone after it again, destroying these centrifuge production sites here at that facility. Now for Bliskovka, the Israeli army has struck a nuclear facility east of the Iranian city of Isfahan. Mass media, according to available information, there was no leakage of hazardous materials. So these were videos coming out from that area also. when these strikes were being carried out onto the Isfahan nuclear facility. So take a look at this, about 30 seconds. So we're going to stop it there so we can see several massive hits to this facility, at least 2 here, possibly even 3 there in the background. Look at the size of this smoke cloud right there. So this place got hit very hard. We had massive explosions over here, as you can see in the video. And also at some point about halfway through, there was another shock wave coming from this facility as something exploded there on the ground also. So major hits over here to the Isfahan nuclear site. Now from Ozen Defender, footage from today's airstrikes against the Al Hadid military base in the city of Avaz within the Khuzestan province of southwestern Iran by the Israeli Air Force. Okay, so we have the Al Hadid military base, city of Avaz, down in southwestern Iran that was being attacked as well. We'll go ahead and let this play. It's about a minute and a half. We're not going to watch the whole thing, but check it out real quick. We'll go ahead and pause it right here so you can see massive airstrikes that were carried out here on this military base down in southwestern Iran. And we've been seeing this city of Avaz being attacked for about 2, maybe 3 days now. Wow, there's another massive explosion right there also. So it looks like this military base just being leveled. And I wonder if this is to prevent the B-2 bombers from flying in once they go into Iran. That way they're not attacked, because I would think they're going to come from the southern side of Iran. If they come from Diego Garcia Air Base, they're going to be flying from the southern side of Iran into central Iran to go after the Fordow nuclear site. So this might be kind of Israel paving the way to clear out the IRGC military bases as the B-2 Spirit bombers fly in to carry out airstrikes, maybe to protect them is kind of what I was thinking. You guys can let me know what you think here, but the city of Avaz has been hit very hard by the Israeli Air Force recently. Now from Ozen Defender, the Israel Defense Force has announced the completion of a series of strikes today against military infrastructure in southwestern Iran. Earlier today, approximately 30 fighter jets of the Israeli Air Force with roughly 50 precision munitions and gathered info from the Intelligence Directorate struck dozens of military targets in and around the city of Avaz in the Khuzestan province of southwestern Iran. Targets struck include a site where missile launchers were stored, some of which had launched ballistic missiles in the past toward the state of Israel, radar detection sites used for detection and aerial intelligence gathering, and the Al Hadid military base. Okay, and these were pictures coming out while these airstrikes were being launched over here onto this military base and other targets in the city of Avaz. Okay, so massive strikes over here. All right, now from the Israel Defense Forces, this is the IDF. It's Israel's military on X. The IDF struck F-14 fighter jets belonging to the Iranian armed forces in central Iran. Additionally, IAF, which is Israeli Air Force fighter jets, are currently striking military infrastructure in central Iran. So apparently this is also in central Iran. They were going after the Isfahan nuclear site, and also they targeted a military airfield over there in central Iran as well, and they struck several more of these F-14s. And it was just maybe 2-3 days ago we reported Israel destroying several of these, and it looks like, according to this video, they struck several more again. Okay, so once again destroying Iran's air force. Now for Mario Nafal, Iran were prepared for a nuclear disaster following hits on reactors. Iran's deputy health minister says hospitals are bracing for possible fallout from Israeli attacks on nuclear sites. Ali Jafarian said, "We have not yet received reports of Israel using unconventional weapons. We are prepared to deal with any nuclear leak in the event that nuclear reactors are targeted. We hope we do not reach that stage." He He says 3 hospitals have already been hit and warns international bodies are failing to stop attacks on civilians. Okay, so here's a report now regarding hospitals being attacked. We were hearing about that apparently Israel could have been targeting some hospitals over there. So now, according to Al Jazeera, they're reporting that Iran's deputy health minister is saying that hospitals are not only preparing for attacks on these facilities and possible nuclear fallout if we happen to see that happening, but at the same time, they're reporting that hospitals have been attacked. And just a couple of days ago, I reported to you guys that there was a hospital in southern Israel in the city of Beersheba that was attacked by an Iranian ballistic missile, and they were claiming that their hospitals were being attacked. That's why Iran retaliated the way that they did. Okay, so here it says Bushehr, Iran. Okay, this is another nuclear facility apparently inside Iran that Israel might try to go after and destroy. And we've been hearing that if they go after that, we could have a massive nuclear event coming from this, and radiation could be spreading everywhere. This is also a site that reportedly, I believe the Russians were helping out working on this nuclear site as well. There's nuclear reactors over there that the Russians have been helping. I think there was like 200 scientists that the Russians deployed over here into Iran. That was according to Vladimir Putin, the Russian president. So crazy information right here. Now from Max 25, the Americans are already negotiating who will succeed Iranian leader Khamenei. CBS News reports the American proposal to Iran includes a scheme under which Tehran will be able to use its nuclear program exclusively for peaceful purposes, without independently enriching uranium with the purchase of nuclear fuel from other countries. One of the options considered includes an initiative by Oman to create a regional consortium under the supervision of the IAEA. However, the report emphasizes that decision-making in Tehran is still in the hands of Supreme Leader Khamenei, who, according to intelligence estimates, continues to fight cancer and is hiding for fear of being eliminated. So yeah, he's in a bunker right now, and he has been for several days, basically since these airstrikes were being carried out onto Iran by Israel. And yeah, this report's talking about how the U.S. is already preparing for somebody to take over the place of Ali Khamenei, and we know that Israel's trying to target him. They just launched strikes reportedly in an area where he could have been in a bunker in Tehran just a couple days ago. And so far, we have not heard whether he has been eliminated or not. As far as we know, he is still alive in a bunker somewhere. Now from Ukrainian Review, Trump and Erdogan tried to set up secret U.S.-Iran talks in Istanbul to ease tensions amid Israel's war with Iran, according to Axios. The plan failed when Iran's supreme leader, reportedly in hiding, couldn't approve it. Trump even offered to attend, aiming for a nuclear deal to avoid U.S. military action. So here's a report. Scoop. Trump's back channel to Iran failed after supreme leader went dark. Okay, so apparently Trump and also Erdogan out of Turkey were trying to set up some sort of back channels and work with the Iranians to try to get some sort of deal. But apparently we did not have Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, come to the table and negotiate. So that basically did not work out. So we're seeing every single bit of diplomatic action here just completely failing. And this is most likely indicating the U.S. will be forced to carry out strikes soon onto Iran. Now from Mario Nafal, breaking, Khamenei goes underground, picks successors as strikes escalate. With Israeli strikes taking out top IRGC commanders one by one, Iran's supreme leader has reportedly fled his Tehran compound and drafted a secret shortlist of successors just in case he's next. The 3 names remain classified, but insiders say his son Mojtaba is not on it despite years of grooming. Khamenei now communicates through a single trusted aide, ditching electronics entirely. No signals, no hacks, just bunker-to-bunker word of mouth. Israel claims it killed 3 more top operatives this weekend, including Saeed Izzadi, architect of Iran's ties to Hamas and alleged mastermind of its anti-Israel strategy. Iran's top brass has been ordered underground. Succession planning is no longer theoretical. This was from source New York Post, okay? So the New York Post reporting that, yes, he is underground. We know about this, and reportedly he has picked some successors to take over his place just in case he is eliminated, okay? So they're prepared to fight on till the end is what it seems like to me. They're not going to give in, even if the U.S. tries to go after their nuclear facilities very soon. So yeah, apparently they are ready to have somebody else take his place immediately if he is eliminated. Now, Vice Grad 24 breaking, the Israeli Air Force has eliminated the commander of the RGC Air Force's drone unit, Minpour Judaki, if I'm saying that correctly, had just replaced the previous commander, Mohammed Bagher Tarpour, who was killed by the Israeli Air Force on June 13th. Okay, and it says here Israel says it killed RGC drone chief days after taking out his predecessor. Yeah, so this is exactly what we see with Israel. I mean, they've done this to Hezbollah, they've done this with Hamas. Right when somebody takes over the place of somebody else within any military, whether it's Hezbollah, the RGC, whatever, we see Israel immediately eliminating them. So this was a report just coming out today. They eliminated the new commander of the RGC's Air Force drone unit. Okay, he has been allegedly taken out. Now our final update from Oza Defender. For the first time since the war began last Friday, a drone launched by Iran struck a building in Israel with a two-story home within the town of Beit Shean in northeastern Israel being struck this morning by an Iranian one-way attack drone, causing significant damage, but thankfully no injuries. A number of additional drones were downed over the last few hours by the Israeli Air Force over northern and southern Israel. So yeah, guys, for the very first time, we've got reports of a drone that actually slammed into a home over in Israel. And we've had, I believe, hundreds of drones, if not over 1,000, that have been fired at Israel, and Israel has taken down every single one of them. And for the very first time, this drone ended up crashing into somebody's home over here. So here's some pictures. Right there, you can see a gaping hole into somebody's apartment here. And yeah, massive damage. So we do have a video coming up as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at this real quick. And no sound here, but we've got people walking around. You can see debris all over the place, and they're going over here to check out the explosion that took place. Look at this massive hole right here as well. That was a very powerful warhead on that drone. Let's see if we can freeze the frame. I mean, look at that, guys. Huge hole here in the side of this house and massive damage on the ground. That's probably one of the biggest explosions I've seen. It almost looks like it was caused by a missile, but allegedly, again, this was a drone that was fired from Iran. So massive news out of Israel today. And I did hear reports also that the port city of Haifa was attacked again overnight. I think most of these missiles were shot down, but there was some missiles that did directly strike the port city of Haifa, and we talked about that yesterday. That's up in northwestern Israel. Okay, just want to give you some updates coming out from this war over here. And again, we're still waiting to see if the U.S. is going to give the orders to strike the nuclear facilities inside of Iran. Okay, and as soon as I get that information, I will let you guys know. Otherwise, I'll give you more updates again on this war later. So I want to thank you so much for tuning in for this update on today's date, June 21st, 2025, on Saturday. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Hope you all have a wonderful weekend. And let me know what you think about all these details down below in the comment section. That's going to be it for today's update. If you got something out of this, please smash that like button. Also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. With that, hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless. And we'll see you in the next one.